All right. So I've made a habit of kind of making these videos later. I tend to come home from the game and just sleep it off. However, we got the Rams next week on Monday night. I'll be taking off for that game. You know I ain't going to miss that. So, this was not the worst game Mahomes has ever had. But I would say as a team, this was probably the lowest we've ever been as a team this Sunday. Well, let me take that back. Defense played really good. They only allowed 14 points. They got a lot of stops. Let me just say this. One thing that really disappointed me against the Cardinals, the offensive line. Holy shit. The offensive line got tore the hell up today. They got eaten alive. Chandler Jones, who the hell's Chandler Jones? He was tearing Eric Fisher a new asshole every down. And the bad part about it is Eric Fisher has had a habitual habit of this since he got drafted by Kansas City. He would go bully J.J. Watt until he injured him in a playoff game, but he can't block some no-name for Detroit. I mean, it's always been that way, but this year he's been so much better. I think the offensive line made him better, is what I'm trying to say. And then today, wow, it came out. Every time Kareem Hunt was hitting the backfield, it was because Eric Fisher got smoked. Chandler Jones was up his ass all game. There was a couple times where he had him handled. Every time we got in the red zone, 3rd down and 10, we needed to pass. Bam, there was Chandler Jones right there, right in Mahomes' face. I think Mahomes got sacked 5 or 6 times today. Which, here's an interesting stat for you. Coming into today's game, the Kansas City Chiefs were the least sacked team in the NFL until Chandler Jones showed up at Arrowhead. It really did look like classic Eric Fisher. Mahomes did a decent job of stepping up in the pocket, and sometimes it was just too much. I don't really know who Chandler Jones is, but I can tell you right now, he's a big-ass defensive end. He's got a long stride, a long arm length, and that's it, man. A lot of times, all he had to do was get one step on Eric Fisher, and he could reach so far, he would actually get to Mahomes before Fisher did. Kareem Hunt had another decent day. We was joking about this game earlier in the week, and me and a couple other Kansas City fans said it. If any game's going to be a trap game, it's going to be this one. The Cardinals are shitty as all hell coming into Arrowhead. They got blown out by Denver a couple weeks ago. They aren't even supposed to play on the same field as us. And, yeah, I know, there's a tag on my shirt. Forgot about it. Forgot to take it off. And they did. They came in and they gave us a hard time. Chandler Jones specifically. I wouldn't say that Arizona's coverage was that great. I wouldn't even say their defense is that great. The only thing that stopped us from putting a 45-point beatdown on this team was Chandler frickin' Jones. Chandler Jones is the only reason why Mahomes didn't gun out 5 touchdowns today. Because every time they got in the red zone, besides 2 other times, Chandler Jones was in Mahomes' face on 3rd down. Every time. So Mahomes had 189 yards passing going into half, and he ended with 255. So the 300 game streak, he did not beat Drew Brees. He did not tie Drew Brees. He tied Andrew Luck for 8 consecutive games with 300 yards passing. It was a great streak for a first-year guy, not a rookie, but a first-year starter. That's amazing, man. Hang your hats on that. Drew Brees is one of the best quarterbacks in this league, if not the best quarterback right now. I wouldn't call him the best because there's always Tom Brady sitting around the corner. But as goes for the Brett Favre era, Dan Marino, some of these guys that didn't have a lot of championships, if any at all, and were still a great quarterback, Drew Brees is at the top of that list. Guaranteed. So Drew Brees still hangs on to that one. He set a record for being 9-1. That's a new franchise best. That's the best start we've ever had. Gosh, man. Let's see. He's got 31 passing touchdowns now, so he leads the yardage, the total yardage, and the total touchdowns for a Kansas City quarterback. He overcame Lynn Dawson's record. Man, Lynn Dawson set that in 69, I believe, the year we won the Super Bowl. And you know what? It was a lot harder back then. People gunned for quarterbacks. So, hats off to that. And hats off for Mahomes to break it. Now Mahomes is chasing, all-time best. I mean, he's going to that next level. But besides records, our defense stepped up today. Yes, I know Josh Rosen, he's a rookie quarterback, but he did do decent. Shout out to Larry Fitzgerald for becoming second on the all-time list for receiving yards. I got to see that happen. But Mahomes is off to bigger and better things. No, there was no Mahomes press conference after the game. Unfortunately, his girlfriend's stepfather passed away at the game. I'm not going to go into details about that. That's none of my business. I'm sure the media will tell you. But, there's great condolences there for Pat Mahomes. That's tragic, and it's terrible that it happened that way. And it really affects you mentally. And maybe that's what it was affecting him in the second half. Besides Chandler Jones. Don't get me wrong, the Cardinals played their ass off today. Specifically Chandler Jones. The run gashed us again. And I'm sure Todd Gurley will get the best of us next week. Todd Gurley is who Todd Gurley is, and he gets his. But just like Justin Houston said, Todd Gurley puts on his pants just like I do every day. He's a good football player, but he's also a football player like everybody else. I don't know what's going to happen next week. I'm sure this is in the back of Pat Mahomes' mind. He could come out and Brett Favre it next week and totally blow Los Angeles out of the water. Or, maybe he goes into that game and it's still in the back of his mind and it's affecting him. I don't know what's going to happen. But I have a feeling that is going to mentally drive him to beat one of the best teams in football right now. Defense is going to play with a chip on their shoulder because everybody's talking about how they're not going to stop Todd Gurley. This defense played very well today. I was, even against a team that is 2-6, they played really good. They played really good. There was always that one or two coverage that got blown out, but it was only for 10 yards or so this time. David Johnson gashed us pretty good. Other than that, it is what it is from here on out. Like I said, I don't know if that's what was affecting him second half. A lot of it had to do with Chandler Jones, man. He played balls out today. He was in the backfield all day long. Not so much at the beginning of the game, but near the end of the game, oh yeah. The whole second half, that dude was there. Had no problem getting down there to the red zone, but once we got there, Chandler Jones was the one who stopped us. Other than that, it really wasn't a bad day. We knocked off Arizona. New England got slaughtered by Tennessee. I don't know how that happened. I don't know why that happened. I don't know if, a lot of the Tennessee players that just came out of New England had a chip on their shoulder or something, but Oakland didn't help us out. They got beat 20-6. And Los Angeles ended up getting past Seattle 36-31. So, a lot of interesting stuff this week. But you know what? A win's a win. It was definitely a trap game, I'll tell you that much. It was definitely a trap game. Pat Mahomes' overall stats now: 3,150 yards, 31 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Kareem Hunt's at 754 rushing yards, 7 touchdowns. Pat Mahomes also has 158 rushing yards. Tyreek Hill is now at 55 receptions, 891 yards, 9 touchdowns. He went off today. I believe he had 2 touchdowns. Travis Kelce has 57 receptions for 787 yards, 6 touchdowns. So we got 2 potential guys that are creeping up on 1,000-yard seasons again. I have no doubt they're going to make it. I have no doubt that Kareem Hunt's going to get 1,000 yards rushing again. And Pat Mahomes he's on pace to pass 4,000 yards at this point. Possibly get into the 50 touchdown range. All that's just kind of hearsay, but you never know, man. It's just if you look at it statistically, you think we would have blown this team out. Total yards, we had 423. Arizona had 236. Passing yards, or maybe that's the average. Yeah, that's got to be the average because okay, never mind. Okay, yeah, I'm looking at the team stats. My fault. All right, so let's refresh this and try to get today's stats. Okay, here we go. This is much better. So Pat Mahomes, 21 for 28, 249 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Kareem Hunt, 16 carries, 71 yards. Tyreek Hill, 7 receptions, 117 yards. Travis Kelce, 6 receptions, 46 yards. So on, so on. Travis Kelce did fumble one, but it went out of bounds. Justin Houston had a big interception. Steven Nelson had an interception near the end of the game. Here's one that might surprise you. Anthony Hitchens sit out. They think he's resting for his bruised ribs. It gave Ben Neiman a chance. Ben Neiman has been getting more playing time. He led the defense today with 6 tackles. So he stepped right up in Hitchens' shoes and took over. Now on the Cardinals side, Josh Rosen, 22 for 39, 208 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. David Johnson, 21 carries, 98 yards, 1 touchdown. David Johnson also led in receiving yards, 7 receptions for 85 yards. They kept running screen passes. So real quick here before I end the video and send it off to next week against the Rams, which I might do that video here in a little bit, preparing for the Rams and stuff. We'll just go ahead and look at the playoff picture here. In the number 1 seed for the AFC, you got Kansas City at 9-1. In the 2nd seed now, you have Pittsburgh, who is 6-2-1. And then for the AFC wildcard round, you have the 5-4 Bengals playing the 7-3 Patriots. And you have the 7-2 Chargers playing the 6-3 Texans. AFC teams that are still in the hunt, and this is a big one being the Titans beat the Patriots. Titans are 5-4. Dolphins are 5-5. Ravens 4-5. Colts 4-5. Browns 3-6-1. Jaguars, Broncos, Bills, Jets, and Raiders. That's it. 1 in a million chance, but they're down there. NFC side, from here on out, I'm just going to go down to the 4-5 teams because 3-6 are, they're right there from one loss away. The Rams are obviously the number 1 seed at 9-1. I'm not real sure how that works. I think it's just for the fact the Rams haven't had their bye week yet, and the Saints have, because the Saints are sitting at 8-1, but they got the tiebreaker with the Rams and the 2nd seed. Wild card, you got the 5-3-1 Vikings playing the 6-3 Bears, and you have the 6-3 Panthers playing the 6-3 Redskins. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the Panthers lost to the Redskins earlier this season. Wild cards, Packers are at the top at 4-4-1. Falcons are 4-5. Seahawks 4-5. Cowboys 4-5. Eagles 4-5. And the rest of them are 3-6 or under, which would be the Bucks, the Lions, Cardinals, 49ers, and Giants. So that's your playoff picture for right now. I'm going to go ahead and send this video off. So the next video is going to be, looking ahead to the Rams, what we can possibly do to win that game against another really, really high-powered team. So that's it for this video.